hey guys, welcome to another edition of Tea Time with me, Tanya McKenzie. Happy New Year. I think it's going to be an amazing new year. I have hope. I have hope, I have enthusiasm, I'm inspired, I'm excited. And I'm super excited for all the people that at the beginning of the year they get excited about what? Being an author. It happens a lot. You get excited, you want to be an author, and then you realize you've romanticized the task of becoming an author. And sometimes it just doesn't get done. But I definitely wanted to pop in today on the first day of the first Monday of the year and just let you know it's not a romantic journey. It is a realistic one, but it definitely pays off. It's kind of a love affair that you have with an idea or that you have with some knowledge that you want to share with others. Being an author can really elevate your thought leadership. It can elevate your brand and it definitely can elevate your business. This year, I'm working with other publishing houses to work with their authors to get their books off the shelf. This is the thing, as hard as it is to get the book done, selling the book and getting it into the hands of your readers are incredibly tedious if you haven't really mastered the art of branding. I did a webinar recently with Agility, and it gave tips on why branding before marketing, advertising, or sales is very important, and definitely before PR. And guess what? All authors need PR. So I wanted to chat with you just a little bit about your brand, your author brand. Hugely important. You might think, well, shouldn't I be branding my book? No, your personal brand is hugely important to being able to be a successful author. Who are you and why should I care? That's what most people really want to know. And right off the top, who are you and why should I care? What is your specialty? What do you know really well? What is it that I can get from you that I can't get from someone else? So I want you to think about a couple of things that are important to moving the pendulum from romantic idea of being an author to a successful author that has their book, and if done right, can be a whole stream of income, right? You want to look at your book like a small business. First, you need to identify your reader. Most people think, well, what I have is for everybody. Everybody can use this information that I have. But the truth of the matter is, you have a target audience as an author. Who are you speaking to? Who will get the best results from the information that you are sharing? Identify your target audience, that's your target reader. That's going to be the first piece to really nailing any marketing or PR that you do for your book. You want to develop and be consistent with your brand voice. Well, what is that? Are you funny? Are you simply knowledge based? Are you a storyteller? What is your voice? How does it show up in everything that you produce and publish? It should be consistent. People want to know who they are tapping into. Take an author like John Grisham, right? Not sure if you've read any of his books, but I am a huge, huge crime novelist. I know what I'm going to get every time I purchase a John Grisham book. His voice is consistent. Even though the stories are different, the voice is consistent. It is important for people to know that is who I can depend on. That's the voice that I can depend on when I open up this book. When I invest my time and money in this book, I know what I'm getting. Let me back up a little bit. What is a brand and why is it important? Your brand is more than just a cliche. It is the emotional connection that the audience has with you, your target audience. When they hear your name, how do they feel? What do people say about you when you are not in the room? That's your brand. It's that simple. A brand is an emotional connection that people have with you, with your company, with your service, and in this instance, with your book. Your brand not only helps you connect with your target audience, it brings you opportunities for strategic collaborations. It's really the lifeblood of your business. What you give off in your brand is going to attract the individuals that will be most receptive and consistent in supporting your book as an author. You are fully in control. You get to decide what that looks like before it leaves, before it's published, before it's sold. Making sure that you have a consistent message, you have a consistent voice, and a consistent look. They always know what they're going to get from you. And being able to be consistent allows for them to return. When you hear that term raving fans, that means it's a client or a customer that has acquired your product and loves it and keeps coming back, and they keep being satisfied. So whether you plan on writing just one book and you have other ways of communicating with your target audience, your blogs, your website, your social media, that's all part of the brand that you are building, right? So once your book is done, you want to think about those things even before you go to publish. When you're editing and you're going through the book, the materials, you want to make sure your transcript is consistent. It feels like you, not like your publisher or an editor that might want to make changes so that it sounds different. You want this to be authentically you, because you're the one who has the name behind it. It's your name, it's your brand, and it needs to always be your voice. What is your USP, your unique selling point? What makes you different? What problem are you solving, right? And then what are your unique strengths? Those are things that people tap into. Listen, there's enough space, enough money, enough customers for everybody. And everybody does not want the same thing. So most people might think, showing their true self might detract customers and clients. But the truth of the matter is, it actually brings people into your circle that like what you're giving off. So perpetrating a different voice because you think that's something that might bring in more customers, it's actually going to do the reverse, because once they get to know you, if it's not consistent, those people fall off. So know that your unique selling point and your strengths are something that you're definitely going to need to bring into the equation every time you publish a book, blog, social media posts, all that cool stuff. Be authentically you. Trying to be someone else or a voice that you think others will be receptive of doesn't really play out too well. So know that you are branding your book. Know that you are branding yourself, not your book. What does this mean? Many people think, okay, well, I'm going to talk about my book. I'm going to brand my book. No, this is a book from your knowledge. You are the person that needs the branding work, making sure that it's solid, making sure that the message is consistent, making sure that you have unique ways to elevate your message. The knowledge that you put in the book are going to be elements that you use to market, to build your PR, to pitch yourself, to pitch your book. Never think, okay, I'm going to build a campaign for my book. You're building a campaign for you, for your brand, for your knowledge, for your unique selling point, your unique voice. People want to hear you. They want to hear you, not the person that edited your book. Okay. And they want to hear you. You're the one that's going to be married to this material. You're the one that's building this legacy. So you want to make sure that the knowledge that goes in is what you're actually selling and promoting, not just the book. Let's say someone wants to book you on their show, the Today Show or Good Morning America. You're not just going to go on and show, oh my God, this book is so amazing. They're going to want you to talk about the information in the book, and that has to come from you. So remember that when you're working on your brand, it's not branding the book, it's branding you. Okay. So working on your personal brand is hugely important. Even though I said we're going to talk about author branding, yeah, you're the author. We have to work on your brand. Your look should be unique. You don't want your book to look like someone else's book. You don't want your brand to look like someone else's brand. The colors, the unique selling point, your value statements, those are all things that are unique to you. So as you continue to build your brand, think about it from what someone else would say about you. What would your best friend say about you? What would your one of your favorite teachers say about you? These are unique ways that people look at you that they wouldn't look at someone else. And those are the elements that you use to build your personal brand. Smart, funny, quirky, any of those things. Think of those words that people that resonate with people when they hear your name. The cool thing is if you do it right, it also detracts from people that really don't want what you're selling, right? It allows for people to know when I go to this person, this is what I'm going to get. It's a matter of consistency, it's a matter of messaging, it's a matter of making sure that people know that they're getting what they came for. And that's the message, that's the image, that's the knowledge that you are giving off. Once you do that and you start working on your brand in a way that helps you stand out, that helps you tell your story in a unique way, then you're ready to start your pitch process. Get your elevator pitch ready. When someone asks you what your book is about, that should be able to roll right off your tongue. When someone asks you what is your expertise, roll right off your tongue. But these are things you need to work at, right? They don't just happen. You want to make sure that it's a smooth flow. You want to make sure that you know what you're talking about, and you want to make sure that it's consistent. Those things are all part of your brand. Consistency, messaging, your look, your expertise, that's your thought leadership. Those are the things that when people talk to you and you're rolling that right off your tongue, they're like, okay, maybe let me check his book out if it's something that resonates with them. So make sure that you are leaning all the way into who you are. And if you're romanticizing the book writing and the author life, know that it does take a lot of work. But if you nail your branding, it's so much easier. It's a lot of work at the beginning when you're starting to do the work to put it together and you're pitching and you're working on your messaging and you're working on your pitch. But after a while, all that work that you do to put information out, people start looking for you. So take the time, build your brand, make sure that it's true, and know that you too can have a very happy, true year as an author. If you need any help, let me know. DM me or check out sandandshores.com. Happy True Year.